Tara Kangarlou from New York City. She's an international journalist and visiting scholar at the East-West Institute. Tara, welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you for having me, Susan.
As you know, the UN Ambassador Nikki Haley has tweeted any further attacks done to the people of Syria will be blamed on Assad, but also on Russia and Iran, who support him killing his people. Tell us, what kind of statement does this message send?
Of course, this is a very strong statement comparing to what the UN ambassador previously said with respect to Russia and Iran. And if we look at the crisis, if we look at how the Syrian civil war evolved from the opposition essentially battling the Assad regime, it's now a proxy war between different players inside the country, different military groups, militant groups, and also mercenaries. And then you have the big players like Iran and Russia and the Assad regime, who's essentially a client of theirs, and the United States. So it has escalated into this conflict that is not going to be resolved with just two parties involved. And it needs a strong policy that we've seen missing under the Obama administration and also the Trump administration. A lot of people were very, very excited, and by people I mean those in the Middle East and inside Syria who I spoke with, about the strike that President Trump greenlighted after the April chemical attacks, but nothing came of that.
Right, and now we're hearing from a deputy Pentagon spokesperson saying that here's the proof they have. They have imagery that has found a plane parked 30 meters from that same bunker where they believe the other chemical weapons were stored in that April attack. Is this reaching for them? Is this enough information to go on to issue a stern warning like this?
As I think everybody in the world knows, the United States has one of the strongest military mights. And I believe if they have the intelligence with all the clandestine intel as well as special operation intelligence that they have, if we know that this is going to happen, then why are we not preventing it? Why is it that the leadership around the world is not preventing these attacks to take place? This would not be the first chemical attack that we've seen in Syria. This is an ongoing issue. And again, as you mentioned, there are information suggesting that these are similar signs as to what was seen in April. So are we going to wait until the attack happens?
Right. Okay. So, Tara, this announcement from the White House is coming amid rising tensions in Syria between the U.S.-led coalition and Russia, which is backing the Assad regime. Tell us how that could play into the timing of a move on the part of Assad, if in fact he is planning this, hypothetically.
I think we're at a very critical juncture right now. As you saw last week, the U.S. Navy jet brought down an Assad plane, or a military plane. So immediately Russia responded and retaliated and said anything in the west of Euphrates will be considered a target. So if we take a broader look at what's going on inside Syria, is a confrontation between the United States and Russia and somehow Iran. And of course, the Gulf chaos is not helping at all with any sort of consensus between Russia and the United States when it comes to a political solution and transition inside Syria.
And so, Tara, quickly, do you think Assad is testing this Trump administration?
I think with Bashar al-Assad, he has done so much to damage his entire country, and he has done so much harm to its people that nothing is unexpected from him. But at the same time, he's not the only player in that country. He's not the only decision maker. There's a lot of proxy agents and different groups involved. So leaderships around the world have to come together for first a stop and halt to the bloodshed, and then a transition into what's next for Syria, because otherwise it's just going to go downhill even worse than what we've seen.
Tara Kangarlou, thank you so much for joining us live from New York.